P2.
P2, the category is defined by collective properties. Conclusion 1, therefore properties are objective. P3, if the properties are objective, then it is illogical for transom to satisfy them. P4, the properties are objective. Conclusion 2, it is illogical for transom to satisfy them. P5, if it is illogical for transom to satisfy collective properties, they shall not be granted. Category membership, excuse me. P6, it is illogical for them to satisfy the properties. Conclusion, transom are not women.
Yeah, I still disagree with all the other properties past P3.
Wait, what do you mean? You just conceded that the properties are objective. That's P4.
Yeah, but that trans woman would not meet those. So was this specifically the part where you said trans woman would not meet those I'm disagreeing with?
Wait. So if you're saying that the properties are objective, and then P3, you're saying you agree with P3, in which it says if the properties are objective, then it is illogical for transom to satisfy them.
Why
That's
would
just going to be a
trans woman
blunder.
not satisfy them?
Yeah, I would just say that they're not going to meet the sufficient of characteristics.
Sufficient of characteristics, and I'm willing to bet if I ask you for those characteristics, you're going to say that's not your burden, right?
100%. Well, I mean, if you're saying that they do satisfy the
again,
sufficient characteristics, then what's the threshold you're using?
The threshold I'm using? Yeah, majority of the existing. So 3 of the 3, 2 of the 3, 2 of the 2, 1 of the 1.
1 of the 1?
Yep.
Wait, so are you taking, like, if they only have one characteristic, whichever one
I'm saying it's possible for there to only be one characteristic, yes. But again, this is just going to be a burden if you're not substantiating your worldview. I'm going to point that out.
That's not it's not my burden to fulfill. I'm not giving you a necessary.
Then you have effectively failed in convincing anyone of your argument. Congrats. Because without actually looking at the evidence, without actually dissecting your worldview and actually being able to understand it, you go nowhere. This isn't a debate. This is just where you give premises, and as long as someone agrees with all your premises, you win. And then if someone disagrees with your premises and you reject and try to stay away from being able to substantiate your premises, you effectively fail to win the argument, and that your conclusion is only going to be true.
All right, one second, guys.
Debate is the exchange of ideas.
The problem I'm having here is that you've already conceded that you recognize these properties to be objective.
I will give you guys each a minute for your closing statement.
What properties are you talking about?
Alyssa, one second, guys. Alyssa, I will just give you each a minute for your closing statement. Alyssa, you can go ahead.
Yeah, my opponent failed to give me what the actual properties is she's talking about. She's trying to say as vague as possible, which is going to be a form of sophism, in which she only wants to use premises to substantiate her claim with while saying as vague as possible so that she can just win a debate. And in the fact that I disagree with the premise and she fails to give me the actual evidence as to why I should take these premises to be true, we're just going to go in circles, and she's going to continue to engage in burden shifts to stay away from the actual worldview, in which could actually be used to see if these premises are actually going to not only be both sound but also valid. She absolutely failed in there, and I've got no reason to engage in such an unfruitful conversation. I won't even call this a debate.
All right, wonderful. Nina, I'll give you a minute. Oh, my bad, sorry. Nina, I'll give you a minute for your closing.
Yeah. So the problem I'm having here is that you've already accepted P1 to be true. And you accept P3 to be true. You accept P4 to be true. And then you turn around and say, well, actually, no, I don't consider P3 to be true. Even though you've already conceded that the properties are going to be objective. Obviously, the properties I'm in reference to are going to be ones associated with the female sex. Let's use our brains here. And then you go on to say, well, I just disagree with the trans part. However, if you've already accepted every other premise, it doesn't matter if you disagree with the trans portion because you've already conceded to every other sense. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, wonderful, guys. Just a smiley face for Nina, sad face for Alyssa. On whoever you think won the debate. I will just let up a couple new guests.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that she actually brought up the female sex afterwards, of which that could have actually been a really good.
I would have thought you had common sense. Like, hello?
I'm not going to pre-assume your position. Again, that's just fucking sophistry.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, Nina is under no burden to actually distinguish, and this is an argument
I
that...
don't care.
Hold on, Alyssa. I'm still going to say what I'm saying.
Care.
This is an argument that TRAs have been using in ad nauseum up to this point. Okay, so you are basically saying that the argument for trans women being female, right, the cluster concept is null and void because the individual can't give a specific threshold. If you were to say that, then all arguments based on this same premises, right, in the inverse would also have to be untrue. You are either saying that Nina is valid in making this inference, or that all TRAs who have made the same inference in the inverse are also invalid.
Yeah, so Nina, you're first.
I just need to introduce two new people.
Wait, who won the debate? I can't tell.
People said you won the debate. That was the most
Big purr.
W sophistry.
Hey, W.
Jenna, how old are you?
By the way you sound, I think
Jenna, I'm gonna pause you real quick. I just need to get your age. Jenna, I'm just gonna have to kick you if you don't give me your age.
Oh, my age.
All right. Oh shit! You can request back up. Semirath, how old are you?
22.
Yes or no to the prompt, real quick.
No.
All right, great. Yeah, Jenna,
that
if
was
you
a
just want to
tie.
request back up.
Well, apparently not. I don't know. That's not what they said.
No, I'm just looking at the.
I don't know. Last time
I'm just looking
checked.
at the. I'm just looking at the chat. It's like a tie in the chat. I don't think it was a tie at all. I think that I don't know. Like I think Alyssa could have engaged better in that, because I would have just attacked the P1 in itself. And like you saying that it's defined this way by this like cluster of properties, I would just like disagree with in its entirety. Like I would just say that like there are multiple ways that you can like define what woman is, and that is like just in different societies.
Wait,
like we just know that off of like some analytical.
Anna, you understand that you yourself define woman by cluster of properties, right?
No.
I thought you said this cluster of
disagreeing
properties. I thought you said this cluster of properties.
No, you yourself define it by cluster of properties. So what the fuck do you disagree with? This just could be a contradiction.
This is just
I thought you said by eight.
That's what I was trying to like.
I thought the collective of properties that you were like invoking in that moment when you say you're a P1 there, after you like had your debate with her, you said it's defined as like being an adult human female, and these were the proproperties there.
Okay,
that's not what I
see
said.
where Anna. Yeah. No, she's just invoking the idea that it is a cluster concept, and then later stipulating that she has her own cluster that would preclude trans women, and that this cluster of these clusters,
withholding that
these cluster traits would be based off of objective things, right? These would be objective criteria.
Exactly, which I wanted to know what objective criteria
There's no burden
is.
for that. Underneath the cluster concept, because they're all sufficient conditions, there's no burden. That's the frustrating thing about this argument.
Then there is no debate to be had.
Well, there is. There's an entire way around this debate, right? There is. I would love to see you actually figure it out. But this is why, like, I tried to correct you whenever I was on the live with you the other day. I had no burden. Whenever I made a very similar argument,
how I conduct my lives, I don't engage with this kind of dialect.
Was the concept of them being
this
objective.
is unfruitful dialect.
Like that was literally the only difference between mine and Nina's argument to you, Alyssa, was that Nina added in the fact that that these things would be objective, which I didn't add into my argument. But Nina, we came to the same similar arguments.
Wait, what was our P? Nina, what was your P2?
Bad faith as fuck. Holy shit.
No, I actually don't think it. I don't think it's bad faith, but
I'm
can
gonna
you just tell
hold
me
it
what
to
your
be that
P2
until I'm
was?
convinced otherwise.
Yeah. Nina, do you mind repeating what your P2 was?
I got you. The category is defined by collective of properties.
I thought that was your P1. The category of woman is
No.
defined by a collective of properties was P1?
No. If the so the antecedent is just going to be if the category of woman is defined by collective properties, then those properties are objective. The motivation is just going to be that it's analytically true. P2, the category is defined by collective properties. Conclusion 1, therefore properties are objective. P3, if the properties are objective, then it is illogical for trans women to satisfy them. P4, the properties are objective. Conclusion 2, it is illogical for trans women to satisfy them. P5, if it is illogical for trans women to satisfy the collective properties, then they shall not be granted category membership. P6, it is illogical for them to satisfy the properties. Conclusion, trans women are lying.
Yeah, so when you're talking about the properties here, the properties that you're in reference to is your own cluster of whatever that is.
But Anna,
And with that being said, I'm sorry?
Yours would be the same thing.
Exactly, and because mine is the same exact thing as what Nina is arguing right there, mine includes trans women. Thus, that thing being logical that they are
now
trans
the burden
women. That is
becomes
literally
onto you to figure out where the difference is, right? And so you would then have to stipulate.
You're on the affirmative.
So you would have to stipulate what trait trans women have that other women have that would make them inclusive, and then you can analyze further from there.
Yeah, so I don't even think that you have to do all that because
the reason it's not going to be my burden is number one, because I didn't name a necessary. I'm just taking these to be sufficient. And then because you're going to be on the affirmative side saying, well, my category cluster is just going to be like affirming that these individuals are women, it would be then become your burden to prove that.
Yep. And this isn't like a burden shift. This is literally like how this debate unfolds once both parties agree to something of this nature, and then one is making the affirmation and one is making the negation.
I mean, I could have just gave my inference rule, but it's fine.
Yeah, that would have. Yeah, I mean, but Nina, I think it's hilarious that me and you have come to a similar way of arguing this for the purposes of this.
Low-key. That's funny as shit. Whole time, and everybody in the comments is mad. Whole time they don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they don't. They don't understand. But this has literally been the argument that the TRAs have been using since the beginning, and we're just using it against them at this point. So,
wait,
that's not my argument, though.
Well,
and
Alyssa,
you know how I engage.
It is in a sense your argument. You are saying that there's a cluster of traits, and those specific cluster of traits have some ambiguity to them, right? Because you are saying that there is a psychological stance, which we would have to figure out how exactly that is adjudicated.
Biological, psychological, and sociological based on your cluster.
The sociological and psychological are going to have ambiguous traits to them.
If I'm really silent, it's just I don't.
Any one of them can have ambiguous traits. Hello?
I don't want to interrupt that many people.
I'm gonna kick Jess. I can barely understand it.
All right, can I voice my opinion really quick?
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about you, bro.
Bro, you're so good. I just joined in. I got work pretty soon here, so I'm gonna say my piece, y'all out for a little bit, and then dip to open up a spot. In terms of our trans women, it is really a yes or no prompt, because in terms of gender identity, you can really identify as whatever you want to. That's your own prerogative. That's your own piece. That's anything like that. Biologically, you are born the gender you are born with. Men, females, if you are a man transitioning to a female, you have physically cannot have ovaries. While you can go through gender changing hormones to, affect that, you cannot have the female properties of genital reproductive organs. Therefore, you are biologically not a female. In terms of gender identity, I have no issue. Hey, so respectfully, let me speak. I'm not done. Thank you. In terms of gender identity, you can be whatever you would like to be, but biologically, you are not a woman. So if this debate is in terms of biological, you can't be. In terms of gender identity, I don't care what you are. You can be whatever you are. That's your own prerogative.
Yeah, he just doesn't understand anything in what she's talking about.
Yeah, I know. It's very low tier.
Wait, we got classic liberal. Classic liberal.
Oh, it's classic. Hey.
What's up?
Okie dokie. Have a good night, Alyssa. Classic, how old are you? Just for TikTok.
I'm 31.
All right, wonderful. Did you want to debate anyone specific?
Well,
I dropped my
just
key
can't.
stick. I'm sad now.
Thank you for that. I just wanted to come up to address what Samarth just said. So I think Samarth, I don't think you're understanding like the term gender identity. Do you understand like what that means?